I want to discuss a small concept. It's called URLs, actually, absolute and relative URLs. Absolute and relative URLs. So this concept will help us whenever we try to add links to our image or link to our HTML files. So for that, it is important. So let me zoom in. Okay, first we will discuss about absolute URL. So what is an absolute URL? So absolute URL is basically a full link. Okay. Example, if I go to Amazon.com just like before, and I click on any of the products, then I get this full URL, right? Starting from Amazon.in, this complete URL. If I copy this and paste it down here in absolute URL below this to show you how it looks like. So this one right here is very long actually. It's very long. I can take up a little bit shorter link like blogs. Okay, this Wikipedia article, let me check. Okay, so this full URL right here, full URL. So this URL is called absolute URL, okay? This one, let me paste it down here for comparison whenever we discuss the relative URLs. So this full URL link, we call it absolute URL. It's basically the full reference link. I can write here inside parentheses. Uh, or full reference to a particular resource. So this URL is enough for us to tell the browser to open this page. So this is basically the full reference link to a particular page. So this is called absolute URL. It will be clear when we discuss and compare with relative URLs. So okay, this is absolute URL. And again, if I download an image, say I have an image of a flower. If I want to download an image of a flower, I go to images. Then I can click one of these flowers. Then I can do right click here and save image as. Suppose I want to save the image on my desktop. And then I want to type the name of the flower, say my flower. Then save. Then if I minimize this browser, you'll find that this file is present. So this file right here, myflower.webp. So if you want to find its absolute URL, you have to right click on it, then click properties, then you'll find the full URL, this one, location. It's in my C drive, then I have users, then the username, then OneDrive, then desktop. So this URL right here, this full URL is called absolute URL. So basically it will be like this. So okay, let me copy this. So this is the absolute URL of a file in my computer. This was basically from the web, but the second one is an example from my computer. So this one is an absolute URL. Whenever you specify images, whenever you want to create images or link pages, so this concept is very important to understand. So then what was the name of the file? myflower.webp. It can be JPG, PNG, whatever extension it is. So this one, this full URL to my file. So this URL right here, this address, this helps my computer to find the location of a particular file. So this one is absolute URL. Let me bold it up. Yeah. So basically just remember that it's just a full reference link to a particular resource. A resource can be an image, it can be a file, a document file. All right. Then we have relative URL. So this concept is important whenever you link images or files using HTML. So that's why I'm discussing it. The second one, the second type is number 2, relative URL. Let me left the line. Relative URLs. So it's not the full URL link, but it's actually partial link, partial URL link, or partial reference to a particular resource. One example would be if I just say desktop slash myflower.webp. So this is not this is a part of this absolute URL, but this is not the full URL. Okay, so this is basically relative URL. So if I paste here, so example would be desktop slash myflower.webp. Let me bold this up. Yeah, absolute URL was number 1. Then another example would be simply specifying the name of the file. Okay, like simply myflower.webp. So this is also relative URL. Now there is a difference here. There is a catch here. The relative URL keeps on changing whenever the file is moved from one position to another, one location to another. Suppose I have a file inside a folder. Suppose I created a file, say new folder HTML. So inside this HTML, I have created a file, say new text document, myfile.txt. So for this, the relative URL will be different. And later, if I move this to some other location, say I drag this and move outside, then the relative URLs that I use inside this file, it will again change. So this is a difference here. Now this will not be clear until we discuss how we insert images using absolute and relative URLs. So we will use two methods whenever we insert images in HTML. First method, we'll use absolute URL to specify the URL of the image. Then we'll use relative URLs. So to understand what we are doing, let us create a new HTML file. So let me delete this up. Right click. So to create a new file in any folder, or I would suggest you to create files inside a folder. This keeps your desktop organized. So right click, new text document, and here name your HTML file whatever you like. So here I will discuss about, not absolute, I'll say images.html. So this is the name of my file. Then to edit this file, you right click it and open with Notepad. So in the beginning, we teach beginners to use Notepad because it's quite simple. There are other better editors which you can use in future. So here in Notepad, we have to write our basic HTML template. So what we would like to do, we want to insert one image here and then use two types of URL referencing to show you how there are two different methods how you can insert images. Wait, let me zoom this up, Control plus. Okay, let me put a heading here first. Images using absolute and relative URLs like this /h1. Then if I save this up, I can open this in my browser, right click, open with Google Chrome. So this is just a simple heading. All right. Now we would like to insert an image here down there. So to insert an image, first I recommend you to download an image and put it in your computer. So just like the previous example, I downloaded a flower. Let me try again with flower. So I click flower, then images. Let me pick a simple flower here. This one, right click, save image as. Okay, it's a JPG file, that's fine. Then in desktop, I had a file called HTML. I go inside it, then I put the name of the flower here, say flower.jpg. It's suggested that you put a simple name because it's easier to reference when you use simple names. So here now I have a flower.jpg, you can see here. So this is the image of a flower. So now to insert images, do you know what is the tag that is used to insert images? Okay, to insert images, you have to use the img tag. img tag like this. Okay, so this img tag is used to create images, and here we have to specify attribute. So I hope you know what attributes are. Attributes are just extra options for a given tag. So if this is a tag, I can specify attribute by putting a space after the name of the tag, then the name of the attribute is src. So inside double quotes, then you close this tag. Okay, so image tag is an empty tag, so you don't have to close the image tag like /img. You don't have to write that. Simply you have to put an src attribute, and here inside this src attribute, you have to put the link of the image. All right, so I can copy this up, or simply I can type here directly. I can say img src. Now here you have to put either absolute URL or you have to put either relative URL. All right. So to put absolute URL, let me first show you how you can put absolute URLs. I think those who are following this on phone, it will not be possible because I don't know how you do that on phone. But on computer, to find the absolute URL of an image, first go to the image that you would like to add. Suppose I have an image inside this HTML folder. Inside this folder, I have an image called flower.jpg. So to find the absolute URL, simply you right click on it, click properties, then copy this location. Okay, so this location here, right here, copy this, select everything, Control C, copy it, then paste it right here. Let me zoom out. Then after pasting this, just put a slash like this, backward slash. After this, just put the name of the image. Wait, this one, flower.jpg properties. So I copied this one. Wait, I did not copy it correctly actually. Yeah, after copying, put this slash right here, backslash, then name of this image right here, paste it down there. Okay, so now this is my absolute URL. So this references the file that I have in my computer. So this image file right here, C drive, users. So I have referenced it fully. Now if I reload on my browser, I should be able to see my image. I come here and I click refresh. So it's actually very large here. If I zoom it out very much, then I can see this image, right? But it's very large. You can see H1 is appearing so tiny. What I can do, I can specify width and height for the image. But first, ensure that you have understood this one. So you have to use the image tag, img tag. Then you have to use the src attribute. Okay. So what are attributes? Attributes are simply additional properties used to customize the tag. And attributes are separated by spaces. So I have this name of the tag. Then just put a space, name of the attribute. And ensure that you put equal sign and double quotes after every attribute name. Then put the value of the attribute. So is this clear until here, how you put this absolute URLs? Till this point, like any confusion, how you can insert images?
No.
Yeah. So this one was an image using absolute URL from my computer. I can also have absolute URLs from our internet. So if I search for some image in my on my internet, like say another flower, let me search flower, then I click on this images tab inside this browser, then I click on this sunflower image, I right click it, and I want to do copy image address. So instead of clicking save image, I would like to click copy image address. Then this one is a little bit simple here. You just have to copy the link and that should be enough. You don't have to like click properties as it was in a local file, then put image name. You don't have to do anything like that. So to put any image, you must use the image tag, then src equal sign. After any attribute, you must put equal sign and double quotation marks. Okay. Then this closing angle bracket. Inside this angle bracket, simply paste the image link that you have copied. So right here, the image link that I copied like this, right click, copy image address, then I can paste here like this. So this image is quite long here because it's inside a website, then it's inside some other folder inside the server. So whatever it is, this link is sufficient to show the image. If I again reload here in index images.html, click refresh button. There's a small image right there. This one, this sunflower image. So this image was from the internet. So all of these examples that we are using right now are examples of absolute URLs. So this one was absolute URL from our computer, and this is the absolute URL from a website or internet, you can say. So now I would like to show you how you can decrease the size before we go to relative URLs, before we discuss on that. So you can see this image right here, it's too big because the H1 is supposed to be this much, then this image is overscaled. So to do that, you have to use another attribute. Okay, so this first attribute was src, then here you have to put the link. The link can be either absolute URL like this. So the URL link can be from the internet, or it can also be from your computer like this. So here you have the location, then the name of the image, or you can be relative URLs. But after this link, you can put another attribute called width, 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 like this. So here you can specify the width of the image you want in pixels, pixels. So what is pixel? Pixel is just a unit that is used to measure. Okay, pixel is just a dot. Okay, so in your computer or phone device or mobile device, whatever you see is divided into tiny dots. Okay, each dot is called a pixel, and with pixels we can measure the size of the screen. So this display right here that you are seeing on Google Meet right now is around 2000 pixels or around 1500 pixels. So to show an image around half of it, say if this is 1000, then I can make it around 400. So I can say width equals to 400. So let me go to my notepad where I have my HTML code right here. Then here I can simply above right here. Here I can put an attribute width. Also remember, you can put this with, I mean, there is no specific order that you have to put with after src. So there is no rule such like that. You can put with before it, or you can put src before it, does not matter, but just don't forget that you have to put a space between every attribute that you define. So here I have width, then I have a space right here for src attribute. So this we have already done, but for width I would like to put 400 pixels. So this value is in pixels. It's not in centimeters, it's not in inches or other units, it's in pixels. So now I save it up and then I reload this page. You can see that this image is now smaller. So this width right here, this width, this x directional width, horizontal width is 400 pixels. So I can make it even smaller. I can just turn it to 200. Then this becomes even smaller. So this was for the first image. I can also do for same for the second image. I can copy this up. Then I can paste it down there. I can say 200 width. I reload. So this width is 200. You can also control height. Okay, you just have to say HEIZHT height. Then similarly you have to also put in pixels. So if I put 200 pixels, you'll find that the height is now 200 pixels. If you don't put height and just put width, then it will automatically take the best ratio. But if you put height, then it will stretch the image and it will not look good. So you can put height, width for an image, and then the image resource that you specify inside src attribute. So is there any confusion in absolute URLs? Uh,
Yeah, but I tried dragging the location, but for some reason it's not popping up into this whenever I load into the page.
the image is not appearing, right?
Yeah, I was using the location of the image, like as from phone. What I was doing, the location is in the path of the picture is
Yeah.
phone DCIM camera IM image dot jpg, and then the width is I'm trying to add in the width and the height right now.
Yeah, can you paste the comment, like, can you paste the tag and the URL that you are using?
Okay, one.
Paste on Google Meet chat, yeah. Mm, I don't think the phone. What is phone here, right here? Yeah, I mean, is it? I don't think this is correct actually. It should be. There should be more to it. Uh,
Okay, let me check.
yeah, but in Android, I have never actually tried to put local image using absolute URLs.
Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah,
is it the path you're talking about, right?
yeah. This is the full
For
path
a
of the
local
image.
image?
Yeah, absolute URL is the full path for an image.
Yeah.
But I will
Okay.
show you another method using relative URLs. You may be able to do that, but
Okay.
yeah, you may be able to do that. So always try in computer. In phone, like things are not same. It
Yes.
differs actually. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So I will show you now another method how you can insert images. So the second method is called using the relative URLs. So URLs can be two types: absolute URL. Absolute URL is just the full link of a particular resource. A resource can be an image, an audio file, a video file. Then second one is relative URLs, where you don't have to specify. You don't have to specify the full URL. You just have to specify the name or the folder, depending on where the file is. Now I will show you. Okay. So now if I have an image inside a folder. I will download one more flower image to be clear. So this flower right here, save image as. So here I will put flower2.jpg. And if I check my file manager, I should be able to see my flower2.jpg. Yes. Let me check if the image works. Yeah. So this flower2.jpg, I want to insert it in my index.html file using relative URLs. So first I will put a heading here after below this, like h2 using relative URLs slash h2. Then before this I will put h2 using absolute URLs. So the previous example was using absolute URL, and then the second example that we will be doing is relative URLs. So down after this, there is nothing, right? So now we want to insert image again. So use the img tag. After this, put a space. Use the src attribute. After attribute, always put double quotation marks. So inside this double quotation marks, I have to put a relative URL. So now how do you put relative URL? So there is a technique. There is a technique for that. So if you check my folder, this file right here, the name of this file is images.html. If you notice, the name of this file is images.html. And also if you check the image that I want to insert, the image I want to insert is also in the same location. So I have this images.html, and in the same location, in the same folder, I also have flower.jpg. Now when this is the case, you simply have to put the name of the image. So flower2.jpg. So this is my relative URL. Simple, that's it. So flower2.jpg, this is my relative URL. So this happens whenever both the file that you want to insert, the file that you want to reference, and the file from which you are referencing, this one, both are in the same location, then simply you have to put the name of the file, this one, or image file, or whatever resource. So this is my relative URL here, right here. It's simply a name. Now if I go back to my browser, this one, and I hit reload, I should see my image coming here. Yeah. So you can see the image came, but it's a bit large. So I will again go back to my notepad, and I will put width attribute. I don't want to put height because I want it to automatically adjust to the default ratio. So I just want to put width of 400, and then I have to save up by clicking Ctrl S. Now again I reload my HTML file. You can see a beautiful flower image below using relative URLs. So this image was inserted using relative URL. You can see this is so clean. You don't have to click properties, copy this URL right here, this one, this URL. You don't have to copy this and again put the file name, right? So this is relative URL. Now another thing I want to show, this was flower.jpg. What if the image was taken out of the folder? Okay, what if the image was taken out of the folder? So here I have flower2.jpg. What if I drag this and put it outside my folder? So now the image is not present in my HTML folder, but it is outside my HTML folder. Alright, let us see if it works. I have changed nothing here, so I don't need to save anything. I just drag the flower to file, which I referenced using here in second one. And let us see if the image was moved out of the folder, if it works. So if I hit reload and go down, you can see the image was not found. You can see this error right here. The image is not loading. So this one, because this is not inside the same folder anymore. Right. So this is not inside the same folder anymore. Where is my folder? File manager. Yeah, this one. Now again, I will show you one more interesting thing. If you move the relative, this file, which was referenced using relative URL, it was moved out of the folder, right? So I moved it to desktop, and now it stopped working. But what if I move out this one, this first one, which I referenced using absolute URL? Let me try to move out. So this one right here, flower.jpg, so which I used in the first one. If you check carefully, see users OneDrive flower.jpg. So if I move this out of my folder, I drag this and move it out. Let us see if it works. I open my browser and let me hit reload. Okay. Yeah, it did not work because the URL here also it changed. Before I referenced here, if you check here, the URL was C, then users, then the name of the user, OneDrive, desktop, HTML. Here we wrote that it was inside HTML. Now it's not inside HTML folder. So whenever we drag both of them, both of the images stop working like this. So to make them work again, you have to again right click on this flower image, click properties, then again copy this location like this for absolute URL. Okay, I'm telling about absolute URL. So again paste here, paste here. After pasting the location, put a backslash, then paste the name of this image, flower.jpg, then refresh after saving. Okay, the image worked again like this. But now this relative URL is not working. So what to do? I will show you this case in a second. But before that, if I bring this back again in my HTML images.html, sorry, not this one. How can I make a mistake? So this flower to the JPG, I have to bring this back again. So now it's in the same location as the HTML file. It will start working again, right? So now, first I want to show the case whenever you move it inside a folder. So most of the cases, you have a folder called images. And inside images, we usually organize our images like flower image or flower tree image, or different kinds of images are stored inside a particular common folder called images, so that you don't clutter up your root directory, so that it's clean. Now if I put it inside a folder, you can see that it's not in the same location. It's inside some other folder, right? So now if I reload this here, you can see this again stopped working. Now to make this work, first you have to check where this image is. So this image is inside a folder called images. Okay, and images is in the same location as this image.html. So the name is same, so it's creating a confusion. So this images folder and this images.html file, both of these are in the same location. So first I will say images like this. Okay, then I will put a slash, then whichever image I want to use, say flower2.jpg, right? Then I will type here flower2.jpg. So now this is pointing to the correct image, and if I save this and reload, this started working again, even if it's in the even if it's not in the same location. It was inside a folder, it was moved inside a folder. So here, whenever there is an image inside a folder, but make sure the folder is in the same location. So as you can see, this images and this is in the same location. So I had to type the name of the folder, then the name of the file. Okay, so this relative URL, as you can see, depending on where the file is moved, this relative URL keeps on changing. Okay, so I think there should be confusion here, right? There should be confusions. What do you think?
So relative URLs are the URLs which can change if we change the location of the picture.
Yeah. First of all, you can see the relative URL is quite simple. Yeah, like this. So depending on where the file is, relative to this one, relative to this one. So this is my file. So for this file, where my file is, this image file is, so I have to move to that file. So first I have to go inside this folder, then I have to get this image. So similarly, you have to write like this, images, then flower2. Now suppose if I have another folder, say inner images, or say inside images, I can have lots of images, right? Like flowers, then I can have picnic, like this, lot of images can be possible, right? So this one will be inside flowers, then there will be picnic images, then there will be images of some fruits and vegetables, so like that. So now you can, if you check again now by reloading, you'll find that it again stops working, because again the image location for this file, based on this file, it has changed. So to get the image file, how do you open the image file on your computer? You first double click on images, right? You go inside images, then again you go inside flowers, then you find this flower2.jpg. So similarly here you also have to do the same. You have to go inside images, then you have to put a slash, then put the name of again the inner folder, which was flowers. So after images, I have to go inside flowers. Then I can find the name of the image, like I can find the image flower2.jpg. And also don't forget to put the extension. If you remove this extension, then it will not work. So if I reload again, it will start working again like this. So based on where your image is, it keeps on changing. Okay, relative to this file, this one in images.html. So it's relative. Relative means both are related. Okay, absolute is something which is unrelated. So even if I move this, it's
Like the one we copy from the internet, right?
yeah, there is also absolute. Yeah, there is absolute URL, and also you copy using right clicking an image right here and clicking this properties, copying this one. So this one is also absolute URL. Now I again want to show you one thing. I have this index.html right, images.html right here. What will happen? Let me close this. What will happen if I move this HTML file inside another folder? Say, okay, not inside folder. Okay, HTML files. So this is the name of the folder, HTML files. So I move this here, HTML files inside it. Then if you check now, it will again stop working. Uh, Let me go to HTML files, then click images.html. Okay, it opened in another browser. Open with. This can be a confusing concept in the beginning. Uh, Wait a minute. Right click, open with Google Chrome. So this image again stopped working, but you can see that this absolute URL is still working. It's surprising. Even if you move this file to images.html file somewhere else, the absolute URL always keeps on working, but the relative URL stops working because relative to this file, the position of the location of image, this one flowers, has changed. Look, now if I have file here, how can I get my image file? Look, first you have to go backward one step. All right, you have to go back one step. Then again you have to go inside images. Then you have to go inside flowers. Then you can find flower dot flower2.jpg. You cannot directly go inside images because the starting point is this one. Okay, from the starting point we have to go back one step, then go inside images, then go inside flowers, then find this image. Now look, so how do you do that? Here, let me edit again. Look, I cannot directly go inside images as I explained because the file is inside some other folder. So I have to first go out of this folder. How do you go out of this folder? So to go out of a folder, you have to put dot dot, then a slash. Okay, so this instruction right here for a URL, this dot and another dot, these two dots, they tell the computer to go back one step. Okay, go out one step like this. Just how you click back on your computer, you go back one step, then you click images. So this is after you go out one step, then you have images, then you go inside flowers, then you find the flower2.jpg. Now if I save this, yes, this relative URL again starts working. So what do you think? Like, is there any confusion here? There should be confusions because yeah, please let me know what are the questions.
I didn't understand the last one with the dot.
Yeah, look, because the file is inside another folder. Okay, this images folder is not in the same location as your HTML file. Okay, the name of my HTML file is images.html. So this images.html file is inside some other folder, isn't it? This is inside HTML files folder. So first to open this folder, what will you do in your computer? You will first go out, right? You'll click back button on your file explorer like this, back
Yeah.
button. So this back button is similar or analogous to this one, dot dot slash. Okay, so this is the starting point. Whichever file you are and whichever image you want to insert, so you have to start from the starting point. So this is your initial point. My initial starting point is images.html. From here, to get my image, I have to go back one step like this. So to go back one step, you do like this. Then I have to go inside images. Then I have to go inside flowers, this one. Then I can find my flower2.jpg. Okay, so but if I take this out again, like now if I put this again inside inner file, say inner folder, I have again inner folder. I will close this up. Then I have to come back two steps. So I am here. I have to come back one step, again one step, then go inside images, then flowers, then this flower I can achieve or I can get. So if you reload here after moving it two locations, okay, the file was moved, so it's unable to find the location. Open with Chrome. If you check, the image is not loading. Again, I have to edit here, open with Notepad. Then I have to go back two steps because it's inside two folders, okay, relative to this image. Then I can get back the image again. The first one, the first case, the simplest one, whenever an image is present in the same location, then simply you have to specify the name of the image. So I can have another flower, this one, images, okay, flowers. But if I put a flower image here, this concept might we also have to discuss in the next class or next session. So look, I brought here another image. Now where is this image? This is inside HTML files, inner, and this is in the same location as my images.html. So to create an image, again you have to do img src. Here you have to specify the link of the image, and I will specify the width beforehand to 400. Here I will simply have to put flower.jpg. Okay. So here I'll have another image below this. So this one. Okay, this was removed, so I have to copy this and put it here. So this first image is inside some other folder, like I have to go out two times, right? Then go inside images folder, then get the flowers folder, then flower2.jpg. But since this image is in the same location relative to this file, okay? So this is the starting point. You don't have to move outside two folders or you don't have to go inside any folder, right? From this starting point, it's directly in the same location. So simply the file name is enough. But the moment I start putting this outside, so I cut this file, say I move this outside one step. Now if I check, the second image will again not work. So I also have to move here one step outside. Now if I reload, it will start working again. Okay, so relative to this point, so from this file I have to go one step outside, then I have to find this image. So it's like that. So the file which you are writing from this file, so it's relative to this file. Confusions, people, Joel, like, are you able to use on your Android device? Okay, this is a network image, HTTPS. So this one, wait, this is a link. I think you did not open the image link. This is the link to a website, to a web page. So in the link, if you want to make sure that there is an image, always check for .jpg. Okay. Yeah, hello people. Always check for .jpg or some extension at the end of the URL whenever you are putting network image from the URL.
Sure. Although my network is horrible, so I can go through the recording as well,
Yeah,
whatever I
sure.
missed out.
Yeah, you can also go through the recording. But I think there are confusions for Mrinalini and Sakshi, right? How
No, I understood.
you understood, right?
Yeah.
Relative. So whenever we say relative, what does it mean? There was a theory, right? Einstein's theory of relativity. It means that the time is relative. It depends for every person. Like if you are on moon, your time will run slowly or something like that, right? It will run fast or slow. I don't know. But whenever you're moving fast, then for you time will be different. For me, time will be different on Earth. So it's similar to this case. So if I have this file, so for this file, the relative URL will be different. So if I create another HTML file, I will show you one more thing again. So let me delete up everything. Let me clean this up everything to see if we can clear the concept. So I'm deleting everything inside this HTML file. So here what I'll do, let me remove this flower. Okay, there's an image outside. That's fine. So again, I'll create a new HTML file, new text document. So here what I'll create, flower.html. Also one thing I have to tell you, for those who are using computer, I think the extension might not be appearing, right? Those are following, or is it appearing? Like .html at the end. In some of the like settings, it might not be configured to show the extension. So if this is the case, what do? You go to your start and search for folder options. Folder options like this in your Windows, okay? So here click folder options, then click view. And there is a setting here, hide extension for known file types. This one. So basically it is checked by default. So when you do this, it does not show the extension. And also you cannot edit the extension. So whenever I edit this file or whenever I rename this file, I cannot change the extension of the file. Uh, wait, this one I guess. Yeah, I cannot change the extension of the file here. I can simply change the name. So you have to ensure this one, hide extensions for known file types. This should be unchecked. Okay, only then you can change this HTML file, or you can see the extension clearly on the file name. So okay, this flower.jpg, let me drag this and bring here. So again, let me go to flower.html, open with Notepad. Let me insert an image. I will simply do img src equals to. Now, since this image right here is in the same location, flower.jpg, so I simply have to put the name of the file, flower.jpg. This is sufficient, and I have to put width so that it doesn't appear too large. So I'll say 400, and then I save it up. I want to open this file in my browser, so right click, open with your default browser. So this flower right here, we can see. Now I want to create another HTML file, but it should be inside a folder. It should be inside a folder. Say I have a folder, another. The name of my folder is another. So I will open this folder, then I'll again create a new HTML file. So another.html, to make things clear, another.html, or okay, another.html. So this file another.html is inside a folder called another. So now if I go here and try to insert the same image, this same flower image, I would like to insert in this another.html file. So how do I do that? First, let me open the file. You can see that it's empty since we have nothing. So open with Notepad. I just want to put a heading h1 another. Now here I want to insert an image. Now let us see if we can insert the image just by putting the name of the file. You can see the another.html is inside a folder and it is not in the same location. This file right here is not in the same location as this image that we want to insert. So if we just put flower.jpg and say width just like before, if we put it like this, 400, and save it up, and let's see if it works. you can see that the image right here is not appearing. But if you check flower.html, the image is still here, because for this HTML file, the relative URL is simply flower.jpg, isn't it? So flower.jpg, for this file, the relative URL is flower.jpg. But for this file, the relative URL will change. Okay, so how do you get this image? So you have to go back one step. Since it's inside a folder, you have to go back one step. Then you can use the flower.jpg. Or if it's inside folder, you have to go back one step, then put the name of the folder. So simply flower.jpg is not enough. So to go back one step, you have to use two dots, then put a /. Okay, now use Control S, and let's check another .html file, this one right here. And if I reload, you can see that now image is working here, also here. So just like how I gave the time example, how your time can be different, theory of relativity, right? How the time can be different for different people based on where they are or based on what condition they are. So since for another HTML, the URL is /flower.jpg. But for this flower.html, the URL is simply flower.jpg. Okay, so now if the image is inside a folder, like previously, how we put images inside an images folder, now both of these URL must change, otherwise it will stop working. Since I moved the image inside images folder, if I reload, no, not working. If I also reload on another, it is also not working. So now, again the image has changed, image location. So for flower.html, I have to go inside images folder, then I can find this image. So let me edit the flower.html notepad file. So first I have to go inside images folder. Okay. So this is the starting point. Okay, starting point. So this is the starting point. You have to go inside images folder, then you can double click and open the image, right? So similar case, you have to go from the starting point, enter into a folder. To enter a folder, just put the folder name, then slash, then the name of the image. Now let's see if flower HTML is working or not. It's working again, but another HTML is still not working. So for that, come here to another HTML. So let's go to another HTML and find where it is. So it is inside a folder. So here first we have to find the image. So this is the starting point. The starting point is here. So we have to go back one step outside, which we are already doing, by the way, // Okay, we have come out one step backward. Then we have to go inside images folder. So I have to write here images, 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 then put a slash. After the slash, now I can find the image and I can open the image. So again, here save this file, another .html, and this is also working. Okay, so this is all about absolute URL and relative URLs.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
My image is not like loading in the HTML file.
Okay, it's not loading now. Okay,
Yeah,
ok.jpg. Fine, this is your image, ok.jpg, right? Now
yeah,
the question is, where is your HTML file? Okay, okay, this one, are you doing on computer?
yeah.
Have you copied this? Okay, okay,
Wait. Let me share my
sure. Please share
screen.
your screen. Yeah. Spandan, there is a call. Spandan's call. Wait. Spandan is calling continuously.
Okay. So
Yeah, image. Wait, this one you have to paste it.
okay, and this is the folder location where the image is present right now.
Images. Look at the name. The name is not matching.
Okay, okay.
Everything must match. Yeah, from extension to location, everything. Then it will work. Yeah.
Wait. Okay, it's not loading still.
It's still not loading. Did you save the file? And is this the correct file?
Yeah, this is the correct file.
Yeah.
It's still not loading.
Wait. OK/new HTML. Right. Notepad.
Yeah.
Can you do one thing? Can you close this one? Close the notepad.
Okay.
Yeah, close notepad and reopen again. Reopen the notepad again. I mean, reopen your file in notepad again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Reopen this. Oh yeah. I mean, open on notepad. Uh,
How should I open this account?
wait, wait. This file, is it present or not? This, you can open it. Open with, click, go to open with. Choose another app. Yeah. More apps. That one, notepad.
So
Yeah, images.jpg. images.jpg. Okay. Now, yeah, open again. Try opening on Chrome once. I would like to see. Right click. Yeah. Can you right click and view source code?
this one.
Yeah, right. Not on image. Right click on the center of the page. Yeah. View page source. Images.jpg. img src. Wait a minute. HTML. Click that link. Images.jpg. It's saying that the file is not present actually. Why don't you go back there? Yeah, yeah. Go back there. Try double clicking and opening the image if it works. Look, 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 look. That's a look at the name. Images.jpg.jpg. That was the same mistake I told you. Can you go to Windows and click folder options? Search for folder options, please. Wait, don't put here .jpg.
Windows.
Yeah, go to Windows, then search for folder options. So I explained once that by default the extensions don't show up. Go to File Explorer options at the top.
Okay.
Yeah, there go to View tab. There you have to enable the extension like this hidden extension for known file types down there. Hidden extension above. Go up. Hidden that one there was second last.
Hidden extension
Yeah,
for
uncheck it.
non-file type.
Yeah, uncheck it. Apply. Then click OK.
Okay.
Now try
So
try renaming. Try renaming the file right click. It should yeah. Yeah. I think it was changed, right? Okay, check once.
yeah.
Close yeah. Go to HTML file. No, not this one. Left side tab. The tab on the left. Yeah, it's not coming. Actually, are you sure that the setting was confirmed? Because
Yeah.
it's still
Oh,
img.jpg.jpg.
okay. Wait. Let me.
Because it's still yeah. Uh, Please confirm again by going to folder option. The extension is still not visible actually. Go to folder options again. Look in the properties. The name is images.jpg.
Yeah.
So this JPG has to be removed actually, but this extension is not working. Can you please try that, please, Hans? Like, okay, renaming this will also work.
Let
This
me
will
try
also work.
once.
Yeah, this will work by the way. Yeah, don't change anything here, please. This one extension is required. Yeah, .jpg is required. Just load the HTML file. Yeah,
Oh,
can you?
now
Yeah,
it's
yeah. But the extension is not visible. Could you check once again?
yeah.
Like go to folder options, search for folder options.
So, Baraja, what kind of error is this though?
This is not
I was just
error
very
actually.
curious.
Yeah, here actually the name is in the name itself. He's putting the extension actually. So extension is a separate thing. So there hide file for non-extension. Yeah, this one unchecked. This one was not unchecked. Hide extension for known file types.
This one. Right.
Yes, yes. Then apply it. Apply, then click OK.
Okay.
Yes, now the extension should show up in your folders everywhere.
Okay. Let's.
Yeah,
Okay. Now
wonderful. Now
it's
you can see every extension. So before what was happening? So before it was images.jpg.jpg. So there was hidden extension. It was not coming. Now you can see all the extensions clearly. like .html, .pdf, everything. So this one, those who are using on computers, make sure it's enabled, disabled. So okay, I think it's working now, right? So
Yeah.
just remember whenever you change folders, you have to use relative URLs. Yeah. So now next class we'll discuss how we can insert links to different HTML files, and the same concept of absolute URL and relative URL will be applied there. So we will link multiple pages and we will try to create a small project where we will have two products. Then when we click view more for a product, it will open another HTML page like that. So thank you everyone. We have covered like a very important concept today, absolute and relative URLs. So as we go through few more sessions in future, I hope it will be more clear. So thank you for
Just a
joining.
moment,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would
Let
like
me
to
know.
share something over here.
Yeah,
Uh, Give me a moment, just one second.
yeah, yeah. Sure. If you have something to share, you may share it.
So Mrinalini was working on a pipeline to get like understanding, have a better understanding on users, and we are also thinking on making a that development is very widely available if
Hmm.
you are an English speaking audience.
Yeah, yeah,
But then if you see ethnic speaking audience or maybe Hindi speaking or reading audience,
yeah,
they
yeah.
wouldn't know much about it, and it comes out to be a problem. They get some kind of a setback over there.
Hmm.
So we were working on this form from which the pipeline will start. As previously we were just putting down your idea, right? So this time we will mention your segment separately, and we will put
Hmm.
according to the language. It will put Hindi. So that
Hmm.
if someone clicks onto the Hindi part, it
Hmm.
goes into the entire writing. Everything goes into the Hindi. Like the literature becomes Hindi altogether, and then
Okay.
the person whoever is in the other side can read it easily as well.
Hmm.
Although, is there any option where we can use HTML in Hindi or Assamese or some Boro language? We are trying to tackle into as many languages as possible in terms of Northeast. There is not just many people don't know Hindi. They are active
Yeah.
reading or just speaking audience. So,
Uh,
or maybe in Baksa district or maybe in
hmm.
other such regions, people
Hmm.
might not, they might be studying in Bodo medium school or Assamese medium school, and it will
Yeah.
be and just because English shouldn't be the barrier for them to go forward with that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It,
Yeah, we
they are
can.
willing to learn it in that way.
Yeah, language should not be a barrier. So we can also use other mediums like I think Hindi. Most people will understand Hindi since it's the national language. Like they
Yes,
should not have trouble
yes.
like Hindi, SMS. Then we can target more people, I guess, if that medium
Okay.
is used for that. But whenever we write HTML,
Uh-huh.
those tag names, those image tag, whatever text we're writing, it must be in English because
Yeah.
other letters and all those are not supported. Although you can write Hindi paragraph like this,
Okay.
you can write the content in Hindi
Okay.
or SMS, but the HTML tags,
Okay. Yes.
yeah, those must be in
Yeah.
English. Yeah, those must be in
Okay.
English. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Then that's also possible. And we will explain them the meaning of tags in separately, and then make them note the tags down, and then they can make it like this tag is proportionate to whatever that means in Hindi or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they
Correct.
can translate it for themselves in terms of we'll just
Hmm.
help them to translate the entire process in that sense.
Hmm.
And as I said, right, this thing where we would be learning from you, and then we could teach other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so this is the thing where we can learn from you, and then where other languages, as Hindi is some, all of us are comfortable in Hindi, and
Hmm.
we can. So in that sense, whatever we learn, we can just try teaching others. As in that sense, we'll
Yeah.
get more understanding of what we learn,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so it will make us revert back to the videos that are uploaded, so that
Yeah. Yeah.
if something is, we missed out, and then
Hmm.
because before I think teaching, you need to have a fair amount of knowledge in that subject.
Hmm. It'll reinforce your learning. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It can be good.
And
Yeah. Like you
okay.
can start. Yeah. Doing that. Like yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much about it. Like whatever process or steps you would like to follow, you can sure
Okay.
go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I will.
Sure.
I will just make
And
sure the videos are uploaded for every session.
okay.
Yeah, I will
Sure.
handle that part.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Even in my bit, I am planning to start a Ubuntu basics on how you can use a virtual machine to get into like get a
Hmm.
separate set of operating system into your device and use that as well. I'll try to bring in like Ubuntu from the very basics, like how to use terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think terminal is a very essential tool if you want to go into development
Yeah, yeah.
very
If you want to go to
so
development, yeah, terminal is
very
indispensable.
basic.
Yeah.
And even
Hmm.
the relative source, right, where you put the double dot slash.
It isn't
I think that's the
navigating.
same command.
Yes,
That's the same command
exactly.
for back in terminal, right?
Yes, it comes
So
out back. Yeah, one
people,
steps.
so people, if they use terminal, these things they'll be like, oh, this is the same thing as that. So they can
Yeah,
connect very dots,
yeah. They can
and
interconnect
that's
what
it.
they learn. Yeah. Some of the concepts,
So for
yeah,
that simple,
they share similar concepts.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much, Baraja.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you understood,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, I am actually my internet connection was a little bad, so
okay.
I got in, got out. Although I have one question, one more question though.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
in the absolute URL, the URL can be anywhere. The file can be anywhere. You just have to copy the URL, the entire path, and then paste it,
And
right?
paste it. Yes,
And
file
the
can be
relative you
anywhere.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, and in relative you can move from the tags itself, from the notepad itself. You can move and then take it
Yeah,
back
yeah,
to there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to start from your file,
Oh,
whichever file you are writing the HTML. From there, you have to take it as a
okay.
starting point. Then whether you have to go back or go
Yeah.
inside a folder, it'll depend on that. It's
Okay.
relative, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
Fair enough.
absolute URL will be same for every file, whether it's in some other folder, does not matter. Just the complete
Okay.
path must be
Okay.
pasted properly. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Hmm.
Although, like, how many lectures will there be before this
Yeah. Now,
series?
to
Like,
cover the basics of
concluded?
HTML, we will have two more lectures. Two
Okay.
more lectures. The next lecture, there we will discuss how to link HTML files, how you can create links. Like when you click view more,
Okay.
it should go to another page. So this one we will discuss in
Okay.
the next class. And in the last one, in the second one, we will
Yeah.
revise
Yeah.
everything that we have learned and we will try to create a small, like, small project
Capstone.
like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Capstone.
So then we
Okay.
will wrap this
Sure.
up. Then we will start on CSS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
There are more text, but it will be covered up step by step as we move through CSS. We will gradually learn
Okay.
new text, yeah, depending on requirement.
Sure. Sure.